in the game, which is pretty sick. But before we jump into that, I just want to let you all know I have a mini announcement. I have a wish list with Throne gifts. Some people have asked previously if they could contribute by buying, like buying controllers. Like I've been asked if I have a wish list, for example, on Amazon, but at the time I was worried about not only my privacy, but your privacy in using that. So I kind of didn't do that after looking into it, but I recently came upon Throne, and they basically make sure that not only is my privacy, protected, but yours is as well. So my wish list is there. All you do is, you don't even have a sign in, you just go in, pick the thing that you want to purchase, and then it gives like a description of why I want this thing, or how I will use this thing in content, or in videos or streaming, any of the content that I make, why it would be useful. And also I will shout you out in a video or live stream when I open the thing that you send me, and you'll obviously get credit and everything. You can put your name in there if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to, but you can put a message as well, and I'll shout you out in the videos and live streams. And if you even order something while I'm live, a notification actually pops up and alerts everyone that something was bought on the wish list, as well as in the Discord, which is really cool. There's a suggestion button at the top right, if you want to suggest something that should be on there. So if anyone does buy anything from there, thank you. That is insane, and it would help a lot. And if you don't, no worries. It's just an extra way to support. If you would prefer to do that over, for example, getting memberships on the channel, or doing super chats, or whatever other ways you can support me, or even just watching video support. So anything you do is supportive, and I appreciate it very, very much. So just wanted to let you guys know, because I just kind of I'm announcing that today for the first time. And without further ado, let's jump in. The gameplay has begun. I did re-record this. I tried to record this while speaking, and yeah, I can't do that. I get very caught up in what's happening, and I definitely was like not finishing my sentences. So this is a voiceover of just some footage I took. Now there's not crazy spoilers. I'm not going to talk about story things or crazy things like that. Mostly just what I've noticed technically, and what I've been enjoying about the game. Again, it's only 4 hours, but I thought I'd give my 2 cents, maybe half a cent. Really, truly, my opinion's worth half a cent, and I'm in no way trying to sway you to buy this game, or be like, I'm not going to give it like, I don't know, I'm not I don't fanboy over stuff or fangirl over stuff in for game companies. They're just game companies, and I just like games, so I'm never gonna say one platform's better than the other, because I just don't care. I think they're just making games, and I like video games. So if you think it's gonna be, I'm gonna talk like that, I'm not gonna talk like that either. We don't do that on this channel, and in this community. We won't fight over silly stuff like that. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this game so far. It's been 4 hours, so not too long in. I think it's like 30 hours for the story, which is insane, absolutely insane. But I've been enjoying what I have played of this game. First of all, if you've played Horizon Zero Dawn, the first game in this series, you're literally gonna feel right at home. Like, the controls are basically the same. It's very different. Like, it's a very small difference, if there is a difference. The only thing that actually bothers me about the controls is the focus, which is funny because you kind of just pulled it up where I'm seeing it, but the focus is kind of slow, bro. It feels really weird, because in the first game it was pressing the I think it's R3. I think that's what it's called. It's just your right stick, your looking stick essentially, and you would just press it down and it would zoom in. Now it's a press and hold. If you press it once, it kind of just scans the area, and then if you press and hold, that's when it goes into the focus. So I've been, for the first couple hours, was like struggling, which is essentially the tutorial. The first 4 hours is literally like the tutorial. It's kind of setting up the whole adventure you're about to go on, setting up conflict Aloy's having, and things like that. So I won't get into that too much, but it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting so far. Seeing a lot of different characters from the first game and things like that. So, and like where everyone's been. I think this game takes place like 6 months after the first one. So it's kind of seeing where everyone's at, and then you can kind of start your it's been quite interesting, but the focus has been rough. Anything else? I'm trying to think. Anything else I did not like technologically? I mean, I don't think so. Sometimes I've noticed there's slight clipping and stuff, but this is obviously like not a big deal. This isn't making my experience bad. Even the focus, it's just different. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It just feels slow to me when I'm in it. And I tried to see if there were settings to turn it down, but there were not. So that was a little bit like, it's a little weird to get used to. But other than that, technically, like the only things like technically I can see that I've noticed while playing is that sometimes her hands clip through stuff and sometimes bushes clip through, which I guess that can happen, but that was just something I've noticed. What else? Oh, the robots fight very different. I appreciated that it doesn't feel exactly the same when you're fighting a robot. Your melee is something you rely on a little more. As you can probably see in this footage, like usually I could just hang back, shoot arrows, and I'd be good. Whereas in this game, it's a good mixture of using arrows to kind of knock stuff off, because that is very important in this game. If you don't knock it off, like you don't collect it. That's what my brother was mentioning to me. I didn't notice that yet, but apparently that's how it is. Like you can see now, I'm where I just was in the game. I was picking up something I knocked off of the robot, so it's a good mixture of aiming at those things and then also using melee, because these robots really be like whipping themselves, like it's crazy. And I haven't even seen all of them. Again, I've still been in just the beginning area, but they do move quite differently, and there's a lot of different robots. I think the only one that I've seen that is from the old game is not the Strider, it's like the one that looks like a bull. That is the only one that I've seen. And I just saw it in like this footage. I hadn't seen it earlier in the day, so that was kind of cool. And I know there's a ton of new robots from the trailer and stuff that I've seen, so I'm excited for that. So that's cool to get new robots that act very differently than the first ones. Like, you see this one-eye one. I actually had initially thought that was the same robot as the first one, but it's actually a different type of robot that can like throw rocks, like you might have seen and stuff like that. I'm doing some swimming here now, and swimming, I have not done any swimming yet. Honestly, what you just saw is the first time I've literally gone under the water. So I'm not at that point yet, but I know we'll get to a point where we can do that. So I'm excited for what's to come in the game, but very much, and just what I've experienced has been very much reminiscent of what you already know with Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Forbidden West is very much, just feels like that game brought into like 2022, like it's just smoother in the gameplay. It's much faster, it feels like, than the first one, and the first one was fast, but I feel like these robots are lightning fast in this game, so you gotta be really quick on your feet, and much more stealth than I think the first game. The first game you could be stealth, but there was a point where you could kind of just run around, for me anyway, in that game. And in this one so far, you don't really want to be doing that, because you're probably going to get knocked around a bit, because the robots are not afraid of you at all. These robots are not, like, they do not run away from me. From the ones I've seen so far, they will come after me. And they also feel like they can see a bit farther away, which is quite interesting. So yeah, aside from the clipping when she's climbing things, or sometimes stuff will clip through her, like hands when she's walking through long, not this type of like the hiding long grass, but just like random leaves. There's a big leaf type of very greenery area you're in the beginning. This biome's a little different than where you were in the beginning of the game, and it's more of a forest area, this area, but the other one was kind of a jungle type vibe. That was kind of the vibe, overgrown jungle. But yeah, it's really the only thing I've noticed. And sometimes their facial expressions are a little bit funny, I would say. It makes me laugh, but they're a little bit, not necessarily stale, but I don't know if it's just me or if I'm used to seeing games that use mocap. I actually don't know if this game used mocap. I should look into that, because sometimes they move a little bit overly animated. It's not a big deal, but I notice it. I haven't said anything when I was streaming it, but sometimes their movements are a little, kind of like how the first game was, where you were like, that was a strange kind of movement, and then you would just move on. That's happening a little bit, I've noticed, as well. But you know, other than that, their facial, when they're speaking, they usually look pretty good. With the facial movement, I remember that was a problem in the first game. Their faces were real still and did not move too good. So that's an improvement in this game, which you would expect, because it's been a while since was it 5 years since the last game now? It might be, I think it's 4 or 5 years. So yeah, you would expect that to be better, and it is much better, but it could just be me. That could, obviously, this is like nitpick. Something else that I really like about the game is some people were saying the story is kind of like, I've heard different things. I try not to look too much at what people are saying, because I like to make my own opinion, and I encourage you to make your own opinion about the game as well. But some people were mentioning that like I've just kind of seen it on like titles of articles, or like titles of things people have been saying, and just saying that the story, like some people like the characters more than they like the story, and some people said the characters were flat and the story was really good, which I thought was really interesting that, you know, people were saying those different things about it. So far, I don't feel like I've met enough characters, but what they're setting up so far is really interesting. With, it looks like Aloy's gonna have to do some like internal like examination, you know, with like, for example, her trust in people, you know, because she's obviously been like a lone wolf doing things herself. So I think she's gonna have to learn to not necessarily, it doesn't have to be all on her, and then seeing how the other, you know, characters are gonna like interact with her while she's trying to figure that out within herself. I feel like that's kind of how the game's trying to set up the beginning of the journey, and then you know, she'll obviously meet different people along the way, and you always, in Aloy's sassy fashion, meet a lot of different people, and you give your own different opinions. You know, you can still choose if you want to use your heart, brain, or what is it? Not power, but it shows like a fist, like you can do it the hard way, essentially, like straight to the point hard way. You could do the logical, like brain way, or you could do it with your heart, like responding to questions and stuff. So you can still do that. And sometimes, like, to me, that always feels really important when I have to do that in a game, like make dialogue decisions. I don't think it's gonna change the gameplay though a lot. I don't think it did in the first game. Yeah, there's a lot. I think one of the biggest changes is how you upgrade stuff in the skill tree. I'm probably not gonna show it here too much because I don't want to spoil it too much, but if you don't want to see that, but the actual skill tree is very different and very, very large. It seems like you're gonna have to really work on the skill tree to get your character, like Aloy, stronger, instead of focusing on solely upgrades for your weaponry and stuff like those. That skill tree gives you really, really useful, powerful things that you can do. So I think that's something I'm gonna focus on in the game, just by how it plays. It's like your weapons are not by themselves upgraded, are not going to be sufficient to just rely on that, which I feel like in the first game I didn't even finish the entire skill tree, and I was pretty stacked. Like, I could get hit by stuff and it wouldn't hurt that bad because I got the special armor in the first game. So yeah, I guess until maybe there's armor like that in this game, I have no idea, but you really do have to rely on the skills that you learn to help out. So that's pretty interesting. As well, one thing actually that I was really interesting to me that stood out is literally the HUD. The HUD is completely customizable, which I wish I knew when I had started streaming it, because I was having issues with my own overlays for my stream, you know, with people's names of who last subscribed and, you know, who last donated and stuff. Like, I like to have those things on the screen to kind of like, it's almost like it's continuously thanking people for like how many subscribers are popping up. I like to have that up there so I can also see it and then thank people if I miss it because I'm doing something. So it's like a visual reminder for me as well, and it kept interfering with the HUD. So as you can see in this footage, the whole top of the HUD has been basically removed because you can customize it to pop up when you need it. So I can actually swipe up on the controller. I'm playing on the PS5. I think I tab, and then it will pull everything up really quick so you can read everything if you need to see it. I only have the stuff on the lower part of the screen for people to see, and then the top compass for your quests and stuff like that. And it's so, you can actually turn everything off and then just have everything pop up. You can have, you know, like just your health up there. You could have, it's really cool that you can minimize your screen as much as you want to look as cinematic as you want, like without the HUD. If you need the full HUD, go for it. You can turn off if there's plants, you know, like medicinal plants you can pick up. You can choose to turn that off, and you just walk around and you will remember what they look like, which is crazy. Like, some people I know out there are playing like that and just remembering what stuff looks like. Or you can have them still be up but everything else off, which is kind of what I've done, because I was not going to know where every single medicinal bush or like tree branch was that was going to be useful to me. So I left that on, but it was really cool that you can customize it to look whatever way you want. So like from streamer to streamer, or like content creator to content creator, if you're watching a bunch of people play this game, if people know about this, the HUD is going to probably look different based on each person and what they feel like they need to see and what they feel like they don't need to see at all times. Because you could just turn the whole thing on dynamic, which is where it only comes on if it needs to be on, or if you swipe for it to be on. And that was really cool. I always recommend going in games, like first thing I do is rip open the settings, because I want to see what am I able to do, what were the developers like thinking about, thinking that like, you know, I like to look at accessibility as well, or what did like the developers think people might need when playing this game, or what are options that you can use in this game. And it was really cool to see that, and I unfortunately did not stumble upon that until like 3 hours into the gameplay, and I was like, oh shoot, like I knew I could turn it off, but I was like, oh, I can turn parts of this off so the stream can look clean, and like, you know, only the things I need to see pop up when I need to see them, because I don't need it on all the time while I'm running around and collecting stuff and fighting robots. Like, you know, I've played the first one, and so I already know, like, you know, again, if you played the first one, you're already gonna know how to play this one, because they're so close in how they play. So I have no problem with minimal HUD being on, you know. And so yeah, that was just something I thought was really, really cool that I came across. So, you know, the game plays well, it's smooth, it's quick. I've been playing on performance because I don't even record in 4K. I have 4K monitors. I can't see it in 4K because the capture card I have lets me see in 1080. So there's literally no point for me to play in 4K. You know, and the frame rate does drop when you play it in 4K, so, which most of this gen's games do that. Like on Xbox and PlayStation, they do that. On PC, I think it does that as well. Because ray tracing is very, very big or something. I don't know. I read about it a while ago. Because with Spider-Man, it was the same, right? And it's the same. You can turn it on and off, I think, with Horizon. Forza, right? With Forza 5, I think you can turn it off as well, like back and forth, which one you want. So yeah, I know the games give you the option, so this game gives you that option, and I was like, dude, we'll just go 1080, 60 frames. It's gonna look good anyway, and, you know, just because, there was no point for me to play it in the other way if no one's truly gonna see 4K. Anyways, might as well have the frame rate be up so that it's smooth as it can be, especially for streaming, so that you can see better. Because I've been streaming it, so yeah, that's been really nice playing it. It's very smooth playing in 60 frames. I think Horizon got a 60 frames update, so I've been playing that in 60 frames now for, I think it was a year ago it got that update. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, it's been really cool so far. I've enjoyed it. I'm not finding a ton of problems with it, and I think that's just because it's so close to the way the first one plays that to me it feels like something I was already enjoying, and so it's hard to really nitpick it, except for those few things that I mentioned, like some of the clipping, the facial movements, and the body movements are a little just strange sometimes. They don't look natural. Like if you watch Detroit Become Human as an example, the movements look pretty natural. They don't look too crazy. And then like sometimes in this one, it doesn't look as natural. They look a little bit like I don't know, my brain thinks they're off a little bit. I don't know how to describe what it looks like. Awkward is the best way I can describe the way it looks to me. But yeah, the only thing I am concerned about in this game is this is actually one thing I can talk about. The new weapons are interesting so far. I've not unlocked nearly any. I've literally essentially come out of the tutorial. But it's definitely been very interesting with what new weapons you do get, how they're working, and how it's restricted. I'm sure I'll get fire arrows and things like that, but I don't have that basic stuff I had in Horizon Zero Dawn. So the gameplay, the way I'm playing the game is really different because I don't have these things I was relying on. Like the one that you could you could shoot it at the robot and then it would hold it down to the ground. It's not the Tripcaster, I can't remember what it's called, but it's not the Tripcaster, I can't remember what it's called. Let me know down below if you know what it's called, but it literally, I don't have that at this point in the game. I think it's in the game, but I don't have that, and that was something I relied on a lot, and so I'm hoping it feels the same. But some of the weapons, the new weapons, are much stronger than your typical arrows and stuff like that, which it should be, but I haven't gotten much of what I've had before, or they've updated the way it works. Elemental things are a big deal, and how you fight certain robots, which is really interesting. So yeah, I don't know, I'm a little hesitant about the new weapon so far, but I'm sure it's gonna be fine. Maybe I could do an update video on my thoughts. I can do more Horizon content on here, probably not main story, but side missions or just chatting and running around fighting machines, collecting resources, stuff like that. I'd be down to do that if you are interested in seeing Horizon Forbidden West, but so far it's really good. It's really beautiful. Very minor things that I've noticed that are kind of strange. But yeah, I've enjoyed it so far. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was kind of just a quick ramble. My first impressions. I'm really tired. I tried really hard to make this make sense. So I hope you enjoyed it. This video will probably just go up whenever. It'll just go up whenever it's done. Literally could be 2 a.m. I'm just gonna upload it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you do want to see me play again the main story, link is in the description. Check out my YouTube gaming channel. I stream on there all the time. I'm really trying to get monetized on there to help out with all the channels. To get support from over there would be great. Monetary support from YouTube, would be really great. To be monetized on that channel, and then I can run ads and stuff, and make the content better on both channels. So I stream there Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Fridays, and now recently Saturdays sometimes, when new games come out, because I just kind of rip through a new game and then go back to variety for a bit, and then we do a new game and go back. So if you're interested, check it out. There's not just streams, there's also other content over there, so feel free to check that out. Remember the Wishlist, check it out if you're interested in it. And yeah, just thank you for all your support and watching these videos, liking these videos, commenting on these videos, subscribing, all of that. It helps so much, and I appreciate it. Whether you're a member or not, or you buy the gifts or not, don't feel any pressure to do those things. They're just options for you to support me in more ways if you would like to. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you out, and without further ado, what am I beginning? I said without further ado. That's embarrassing. As always, I hope that you have sweet, sweet dreams of gaming.